hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Kayla. I'm a writer. I have written one poetry collection that is currently published on Amazon, and I'm currently working on the fourth draft of my first book in a fantasy portal duology, currently called Between the Waves. And this week I am trying to get myself into some sort of writing routine, or at least just try to structure my life a little bit better in a way that's going to help me finish the projects that I want to finish this year. One thing that I run into often is that I do have a job as an independent contractor, and technically I actually do have hours that I am like available, I guess, but the problem is that I often do those hours like all over the place. Like I don't actually follow a specific time block for them when I should. And I also like struggle with having structure in the rest of my day when I'm constantly kind of like on call for potential changes that might come through. And the reality is that I do have the freedom to set an actual structure to my day. So that's going to be the focus of this week. I've also written down a goals list, I guess, of things that I want to accomplish this week. So like the routine that I'm setting and the structure that I'm trying to build is for making sure that I get certain things done, as well as making sure that I don't do too much, because I also have a bad habit of that. Let's take a look at the goals. I will share them with you because I'm trying to make like weekly goals at the beginning of the week, and then I can like reflect on them at the end of the week. So goal number one is to work on Between the Waves for at least 1 hour per day. I'm setting a small goal for this because I've noticed that I'm just feeling like some resistance as far as getting started on the new draft goes. I am also going to film a video probably today, just kind of discussing starting the new draft and like my plans, and I also kind of want to discuss a little bit of that resistance, so that'll be in that video. I would like to work out 4 times this week, and I want one of those times to be out in nature, so I'll probably end up going for a run. I am setting a goal for myself to not do any development work after 3 p.m. just because at that point, even if I have done a full day with my development work, that day should still end at 6 p.m. So for this week at least, I'm going to try to actually stick to my schedule. I think that it should be okay, but I'm going to test it out this week and see how it goes, and I'm hoping that it kind of like clears up some headspace. I also want to film 2 videos this week, as well as do the Patreon video. So my goal with like kind of doing a little bit of bulk filming at least is that I would love to be posting 2 videos per week, especially like I was over the holidays, but since I'm working now, my writing is taking priority and work is also taking priority. So I still want to stay consistent, which means while I feel like I have the energy to, I want to film some videos in advance that can kind of be posted like later on, because I'm sure there will be some weeks where I just don't feel like posting or I don't have the time to. And if that happens, then I have a backup video, and if I get like so far ahead as far as videos go, then I can also like post extra vlogs throughout the week, for example. And the Patreon video is the 1 year of being a self-published author video in relation to my poetry collection. So The Stories That Told Me has been released for over a year now. I'm a little bit late in making this video, but I just wanted to go over like numbers, number of sales, income for different like versions of the book, what marketing I did, which was not a lot, but I'll get into it in the video. So I need to film that this week because it is going up on Patreon on Thursday, I believe. And I need to do a new week of The Artist's Way. I kind of started it a few days ago, and then I sort of like took the weekend off. So I'm actually going to go back and like start with week 1 today of The Artist's Way. So yeah, those are the weekly to-dos that I want to be getting done, kind of like goals that I have for the week. And then at the end of the week, I'm going to reflect and I'm going to see how that turned out and how things went. But now I'm going to pack up my stuff and I'm going to head to the library to get a few hours of work done, including some work on Between the Waves. Hi, it's day 2. I would like to report that of my goals, I did set my boundaries yesterday, which is great. I did not really spend an hour on Between the Waves. I spent over an hour updating my YouTube banner and my Patreon banner. and reviewing a lot of stuff. I spent a lot of time reviewing notes and stuff for Between the Waves. I spent a lot of time on Pinterest looking at Between the Waves board. Like, honestly, I wouldn't say that I actually spent a full hour on Between the Waves itself. I think I spent at least like 2 hours procrastinating it. But I still got up early. I followed my boundaries and like my time blocking for work, and I feel like that's a win. I think it's also one of those things where like it's gonna take time to get into this kind of flow again. And again, this is something that I'm filming like a dedicated video to as far as like starting the new draft goes. But I do think that, you know, setting new habits takes time. I've written down the goals for the week, and I find having them visually in a planner so that I can like review them consistently is very helpful. I think what I'm going to do today is make like a nice cute little bullet journal layout for this entire week. So today's Tuesday now. So it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'm actually going to put the goals, I'm going to like build the goals into that bullet journal planner outline, and then I'm going to make sure that those goals are like visible up top so that I can make sure that I'm still keeping track of them and that I'm still looking at them every day. So yeah, like tiny little bit of a rough start on Monday, but that's okay because we've got a whole week ahead of us. You'll have to watch, if you didn't watch the vlog from last Friday, which is the vlog of me starting the 4th draft. I just finished editing through that. There was a lot of struggle today. It's funny because I'm still excited about the story, but there was struggle. There were a few hurdles for me to deal with today, but I got through it and I ended up writing around 1,500 words, which is fantastic. I'm still doing my best to not work after the time that I told myself I wouldn't. So far so good, although I do feel like I have FOMO almost. Like I feel like I'm missing messages even though there probably aren't any. I don't know, I'm just trying really hard to like actually stick with those boundaries because otherwise I spend basically 12 hours a day kind of like being on call and randomly checking and just like being worried that I'm gonna miss something. So this is really a test for me, but it does feel like it's clearing some of my like headspace to be able to focus on other things like writing and also tonight self-care, because I can't be constantly thinking about the work that I may or may not be missing right now. So tonight I'm gonna make a nice little nighttime chai. I just got out of the shower, as I'm sure you can tell. I'm gonna do some like self-care, hair oil, face oil. I'm also gonna do week 1 of the Artist's Way because I still haven't done that. But yeah, it's a self-care night. Okay, so I actually did film an outro for this video, but I had my crop sensor turned on, which was great because it meant that my camera was like zoomed into my face twice as much as it needed to be. So I'm refilming. I literally never finished filling these out, so but I wanted to go over the goals and discuss with you on how things went, and we're gonna check them off. I'm gonna work backwards through the list, and there's a reason for that. So I did week 1 of The Artist's Way. I ended up finishing it fairly late into the week. Also, all of those other times that I checked into the vlog and I was like, hey, I'm still trying to start The Artist's Way, was because I did not realize how much of an intro there was to the book. I've done it before, but I didn't fully finish it, but I did it in 2021. So it's been a while and I forgot how many pages of intro there was. So basically every time I checked in, it was me reading a few pages and then taking a break because I was like, oh, I'm just like still in the intro. I'm not even in week 1 yet. But by the end of the week, of Saturday at least, I had actually finished week 1. And it was really cool actually to look back and see they get you to sign like an artist contract, which basically says like, I am going to commit to this. And it was just interesting to see that the first time I did this and filled out the workbook was at the beginning of 2021. And that's such a fun thing for me to look back on because the beginning of 2021 is when I started writing my book Blood of Amberum, which was a manuscript, also high fantasy, more so like fae and witches. That book has been shelved, but I started that also at the beginning of 2021, and that was the year that I decided that I was going to write something for the purpose of actually publishing. Obviously I didn't publish Blood of Amberum, and it's like still a mess and still sitting on the shelf, but it was just interesting to look back in The Artist's Way and see that the year that I started The Artist's Way was also the year that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna commit to writing something and actually publishing it rather than just writing and writing and writing for myself. Like I decided that year that I was actually going to start sharing things, which was really fun to look back on. So I did finish week 1 of The Artist's Way, which is great. I filmed both YouTube videos and the Patreon video. The Patreon video went up. I'll link it down below if you want to go check it out. I actually stuck to the no development work after 3 p.m. I did check in a couple times on Saturday, which I didn't specify in my weekly goals that I didn't want to work on weekends, but like ideally I don't want to work on weekends, but there was just like some last minute stuff that I just had to like check in for. So I didn't really work, I just checked work. So I managed to keep my boundaries for the week, which is wild. I don't often do that, but it was a really interesting thing to like see myself actually do that. I did work out 4 times and I think all of those times were outside except for 1. So very, very happy with that goal. And then we get to the very first goal, which was to work on Between the Waves for a minimum 1 hour. I've now realized that I put 1 hour per week. I meant to put per day. And that is the only goal that I actually did not achieve, which is funny because that's the most important goal on this list for me right now is my writing. As you know from the video last week about me starting draft 4, I'm on the struggle bus right now when it comes to getting into the flow. Like I mentioned, it's been a long time since I was actively drafting. It's been a long time since I was actively writing any sort of new draft. And like I mentioned, the first few chapters in this new draft are new because it's kind of like it's been shifted almost. We needed some like chapters just to do some world building, introduce the characters a bit better, and also build on to make a stronger arc. So basically from the prologue to the inciting incident is all new. It's actually technically stuff that happened already. It's just now I'm writing it into the actual draft so that the readers know that it's happened because I felt like that was important. And those few chapters, it's probably, I think it's like 5 or 6 scenes that is new, and I have just been absolutely struggling with them. The good news is that I did work on Between the Waves every single day, but it was not for an hour every single day. There were like 2 days, I think on Tuesday and on maybe Friday I worked for a full hour on Between the Waves, but all the other days I spent like probably half an hour or so, and it was basically half an hour of me staring at the document and then maybe like flipping over to the Pinterest page and trying to get some inspiration and then like rereading beta reader feedback and then still not actually writing anything or working on it. So I didn't hit the 1 hour per day, but I still worked on it every single day. So I'm considering that a win. I also got up early this week. I feel like the little things that I did do, even if it wasn't like a perfect week, I feel like I have started to build the routine. And that's something that I wanted to remind myself as well going into a new week, is that it's not important that I hit all of my goals every single week and that I structure my day perfectly and that I follow that structure and that everything is perfect and smooth. It's more important that I'm taking steps and putting the effort towards building routines and structures in my life that are going to support my writing goals and aspirations. And the nice thing is that even if you don't hit all your weekly goals or you don't fully hit them like I did, I am still taking steps towards my writing goals and aspirations. And that's the most important part of this whole thing. You can't really form a new routine or a habit in a week. You know, it takes a lot longer than that. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. It's been a little bit of a messy week, but I genuinely do feel like I've done a good job. I'm proud of what I did accomplish, and I'm excited for a new week to continue working towards these goals, continue building these habits, and then, you know, just like work towards my goals. So I'm happy with that. And I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it was inspiring. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you were interested so that the algorithm knows that you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not already, and if you enjoy this kind of content. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.